Joker Folie finally arrives, and even more DC news. This is the Sox Rocker Show. Yes, the long-awaited, highly anticipated sequel to Joker, Joker Folie was released today, and all I can say is, what the hell was Todd Phillips thinking? Now, first off, let me start by saying I wasn't a big fan of Joker. I had to sit through it 3 times to finally watch it all. I found the film to be okay and well made, but I doubt that I'd ever want to watch it again. Now, Phoenix and Gaga are both very fine actors, and they are both very good in their roles in Folie. As good as they can be, at least, with what was given to them, and that's about it. 2 hours and 20 long minutes of that's about it. I found it to be drab, dull, dreary, and I didn't care for the musical aspect of the film at all. Phoenix Joker came off as simply annoying, and when he's Arthur, he's just plain dull. And while Gaga did fine with her toned-down version of Harley Quinn, I kept finding myself circling back to Margot Robbie's manic, humorous, murderous, perfect take on the character in my mind and asking myself what was the point in all this. Now, I'm not going into massive detail about the film. I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen it. We all have our own opinions, and these are just mine, and besides, I hate when people spill all the beans too early on, so if you want to know more, support DC and go see the film, or there's a bazillion reviewers online telling the entire tale. And I'm sure there'll be a lot of people who will love this film, and that's cool. It's very cool. I'm just not one of them. And now let's move on. Well, James Gunn recently announced a new DC animated movie is in the works called Dynamic Duo. And no, it's not about Batman and Robin, but about, well, Robin and Robin, as in Dick Grayson and Jason Todd. Both who at one time, as we all know, were Robin. Now, this may seem kind of odd that there will be a movie about the two Robins before we see Batman make an entrance in Gunn's DCU, but this is James Gunn we're talking about here, and I guess you just got to take what you can get. As I mentioned earlier, it will be animated, but it'll also be mixed with CGI and puppetry, which to me sounds both strange and interesting. Also interesting is Matt Reeves is producing the film, which will follow the friendship of both as youths. No announcement on a release date as of yet, so stay tuned. It was also announced that yet another DC team-up movie focused around the world of the Caped Crusaders in the works, but this time it will be 2 Bat villains who will be front and center. According to The Hollywood Reporter, Bane and Deathstroke are making a bad guy buddy film. Now, not much is known about the film other than that it's in the works, but I'm sure we'll know more as it seems that Gunn is speeding up the DCU machine. Now, something I want to talk about is the recent rumor that Matt Reeves' Batman, played by Robert Pattinson, is destined to be the Batman in the new DCU. And it's being said that David Zaslav is putting pressure on people to make it so, and I'm assuming those people are Reeves, James Gunn, and Peter Safran. And for good reason. I mean, Batman is the most popular character within the DC world, hands down. And it makes perfect sense to want to get the ball rolling and deciding just who's going to be playing him. But I just don't see Matt Reeves' version being the one. Gunn's movies are light, bright, and colorful with a side of humor thrown in. Reeves' version of Batman's world surely is not. The dark, damp, seedy underworld that he created is what makes it work. I don't see Corn Sweat's cheerful, colorfully uniformed, all smiley self fighting alongside Pattinson's brooding, gloomy, questionably hygiene Nirvana soundtrack Batman. I just don't. And I don't see Pattinson going along for the ride either. Now, it could happen, I suppose, but I don't think so. I personally still think that if Gunn has his way, and he has so far, it will be Chris Pratt. But whoever it winds up being, it seems that Gunn is building up to the announcement with the aforementioned films about the Robins and about Bane and Deathstroke. Now, it'll be interesting to see how they handle these two films about characters who we wouldn't even know were it not for Batman himself. Will it be like the Penguin series where they don't even mention him at all? I guess it could work with Bane and Deathstroke, maybe, but the Robins would never become Robin were it not for Batman, so I don't see how they can get around it. I guess we'll all just have to wait and see. Well, my friends, I've rambled on enough for this one. Have you seen Joker Folie Dou yet? If you did, what did you think? Good? Bad? No comment? And if you haven't seen it, are you going to? And what do you think about the two Batman spin-off films being made about Robin's Dick Grayson and Tim Drake and Bane and Deathstroke? Are you excited? Is it strange that we're getting them before we even get to see Batman in the DCU? And finally, how do you feel about Robert Pattinson possibly becoming the DCU's Batman? Feel free to leave any comments that you may have down below. And if you like that show even just a little bit, why don't you hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. As always, thanks for stopping by. God bless and sign.